Well, hello everybody. And today, I want to talk about really this concept. I was talking to this with one of the participants in the challenge that had reached out, and I thought that it might be something good for the group to hear. And so, in a certain way, we really look at our daily health habits as daily health habits, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, for sure. But I've just been thinking about it lately, that it's kind of interesting that we in some ways it's all about how many calories did I have this day, how much exercise did I have this day, and what did I eat this day, and I think in some ways that's helpful for sure, right? But it's funny, we break down our life so much by hours in the day. Or, what did I eat that day? What nutrients did I have this day? Kind of the daily, the daily nutritional amount, right? How much should I have in a day? And it's just funny because in so many ways, like, you don't really, you don't really think about it, in many other ways in life like that. Like you wouldn't say, how much did I, you know, did I love my wife today? How much did I, in a sense, how much time did I spend with my kids today? Because every day is a little bit different. Like there's sometimes you might be on a trip together, right? Or it's Saturday and you spend more time together, or you have a different lifestyle, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong. And so I think sometimes this focus on did I eat enough of XYZ today? Did I get enough XYZ protein today? And our bodies are much more dynamic than that. So like your body has these reserves. It's not like if I don't get my daily allowance of XYZ vitamin, mineral, amino acid, macros, micros, like it doesn't, I think that it can paralyze you some days. Okay. So there's some days where, I'll just fast the whole day, or I've, done longer fasts, and my body pulls from the reserves that it has, right? The body is so dynamic that I think we do ourselves a disservice, and we actually make it harder, we make it more confusing, we make it more complicated. And so, because some people are like, well, but hey, I didn't eat, this, I didn't eat enough of this today, I didn't eat enough of that today. And I just want to kind of give you some freedom on that. Like try some different things, okay? Like every day doesn't have to be this just like regimented, I take this at this time, I take this at this time. Like your body is constantly trying to meet the demands that it has, right? If I'm gonna, when I was with my son and we hiked Pike Peaks a couple months ago, like that day was a very different day metabolically for my body than a day at the office, than a day driving, to Atlanta and sitting in an airplane or in a car. And your body's designed to adapt to that. And so I kind of was just thinking, like, what if you just looked at it like over the course of the week, right? I had, some, vegetables, I had some protein, I had some fat, I had some, the variety of different things. Some nights I get, a great night's sleep. Some nights I stay up later, I get up earlier. Some mornings I have to drive to other places and, lead Bible studies and, get to work at different times and prepare for podcasts and read books and do a challenge. And so I just wanted to kind of just challenge you, even like, again, this is more of almost a philosophical thing, although I do think there's some benefits just that are applicable for your day, because what I found is so many people are, I'm trying to get, so think about it, right? It's the 10,000 steps a day. It's this much water a day. And I talk about this stuff. I teach about this stuff. I'm not anti, but for this season, for these 28 days, push yourself, challenge yourself. Mix it up a little bit, right? Some days it's okay to do 2 workouts, right? I remember when I was playing high school football, right? When you go back to the season, you do double days, right? You do 2 workouts a day. Okay, why? Because you're trying to get in extra good shape. There's times where you might really, just knock it out of the park on drinking enough water and getting a great exercise in. And, but those days, life, if, sometimes you don't feel good for a few days, you're having, a headache, you're just tired, you have your best friend is in town and you need to hang out, right? And so I'm saying this to you because I want you to open up give yourself a little more flexibility in this, okay? Don't be so micromanaging about it, okay? Because even with the best of micromanaging, right, life still happens, right? There's days where I'll eat super clean, and great fasting and all that stuff. And then I'll wake up and my blood sugar fasting is higher than when I went to bed, right? And it's like, what? How does that happen? Or I'll have a great day and, my ketones change. And it's because it's like the body is so dynamic, right? Or we've all had those days where, you've stepped on the scale and you haven't eaten all day and you're like the scale didn't even move. You're like, what's going on? And I've read a lot of books about this and there's a lot of even philosophies on this. And a great book is called, I don't know if I have it in front of me. I think it's called Craving or Ending Craving. I did a podcast on it. It's a great episode. One of the more fascinating podcasts I've ever done with Mark Schalzenberger or something like that. It's a great one to go listen to. But he talks about these studies they've done on people trying to lose weight. And it's like, it takes in all these factors of how the body will change so many different things to keep you at a certain place. So, if it'll slow down your metabolism, it'll slow down your bowel movements, it will conserve, it will burn less energy, your body will, all of a sudden burn differently. So we're not just like this fixed system that's like, 2,000 calories today and I had 1,463 and so I burned 562, 49, whatever. And so I'm saying this to just like, it's kind of like we got to like rattle the cage a little bit, right? Like, and I've said this a lot lately, I don't know why it's been on my heart, but like, you just got to live, okay? Now break the crappy habits, right? Like break the junk food, the up all night, the midnight snacks, the overindulging. Again, there might be a time and a place for that, right? I mean, to each their own on how everybody wants to do that. But a lot of this is just trying to breaking the standard American diet, the sad diet, as you hear people say. Like, just like become aware of how your physiology works. And some days you might have a little bit more to eat. Some days you might have a little bit less to eat. Some nights you might sleep 7 hours. Some nights you might sleep 5.5 hours. Some nights you might get a great workout in. Some days you might not get a workout in. You follow me, right? And that's okay. Don't be so rigid about it. What happens is it's when we just, go off the rails, okay? It's when we just like throw caution to the wind and like, forget about it. I'm stressed out, okay? Or I'm busy or I'm tired or I don't care. Or I tried and it didn't work. Like, there's a scripture, Matthew 6:33, I think it is, right? Seek ye first the kingdom and all else will be added. It's one of my favorite scriptures. But the reason I like it is because, it's like God decides the all else, right? Everybody's all else is different, right? So some people's physiology, again, we want this recipe. We want this like, what do I do? What should I eat? What's the perfect way? And I'm just telling you, like 20 some years of doing this and 20,000 patients and every story, it's one of the reasons I love what I do so much because I just see the dynamicness of it. I see how God just does it differently in different people. It's kind of like when you go to a different part of the world or maybe a city you've never been in or an area of the world you've never been in. It's like it's got this whole different culture, right? This whole different like layout, this whole different topography, right? That's God. He's the creator, right? He makes things differently and your physiology is unique. There's some similarities. We all got 2 eyes and 1 nose and all that, but your uniqueness of your individual physiology and maybe how you've lived the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years and the stress of your work and that affects cortisol. That affects how your body, responds and stores sugars and fats and burns fuel, all this stuff, okay? Even genetic predisposition. And so I guess I'm just saying this to you today is, try to be a little bit whimsical even about it, right? Try to be a little like, you might need a season of severe discipline because you've lived super undisciplined for so long. And there is some reality of consistency over time, right? I checked my ketones again recently, or, recently did a few minutes ago, and they continue to climb. They're getting higher, right? Like I expect that. And because I'm been being consistent, right? Like there's these principles that's the case. But then there's fluctuations, right? Just like sometimes when your body needs to, fight off a bacteria or a virus, it raises the temperature, right? It's doing that because it's smart. It's doing that because it's intelligent. And so I'm saying all this simply to tell you, right? Like I want you to just, kind of relax, kind of calm down, kind of, it's going to be okay. And, we're in this for the long haul. And so there's going to be a little bit of this. Try to expand your view beyond just, did I eat the perfect amount today? Because the body will steal a little bit here and it'll use a little bit here, and you don't need this and you need a little bit more of that. And you can get that, it doesn't have to be every single day perfectly, okay? So I don't know if that helps you today. Maybe some of you needed to hear that. I know one of the people I talked to, it kind of helped them a little bit. So you guys are awesome. It's great doing this challenge with you. I hope you're learning about yourself. I hope you're learning about your body. I hope you're learning about some of your just cravings and addictions or whatever it is, and that this is a blessing to you. All right, let's talk to you guys soon. Take care. God bless.